AskReddit by L. I know 12 guys who gave the crazy girl a chance. What happened? We got married, had a kid, and moved houses. She self-medicated with marijuana for her anxiety, then attacked me and a friend using a razor blade. We divorced, I got custody, she moved away, and she got married again. She moved back with husband, sued me for custody, got custody, tried homeschooling, and then attacked new husband one night. They got divorced, I got custody back, then she kidnapped both kids and drove to Mexico, and was later arrested coming back across the border. Tada. Christ on a bike. One of my best friends took a chance on a crazy girl 23 years ago. They've been married for 22 years now and he discovered the amazing side effect of marrying crazy. She keeps his irritating mother away from him at all times. You win some and amp, you lose some. We were together for over a year, lived together, crazy in love at first, then red flags. Possessive. Explosive anger. Lies. The worst and weirdest was she would fake a full body seizure every time she was confronted with something she didn't like or want to accept. Having an argument, bam, seizure. It was terrifying and at first I fell for it. But her story fell apart, especially when I talked to her sister, who was like WTF she has never had a seizure. Even then, I ignored it and one day she abruptly left me. And yes, the sex was incredible. I went back 3 years later only for the craziness to be far worse. Do not recommend. Okay, the seizure thing is kind of funny in retrospect. I did everything I could to help her get on her feet. When I met her, she slept all day, had no hobbies, was always grouchy, but we connected and I was happy with her. 7 years, lots of money, therapy, encouragement, pep talks, the whole 9 yards. She's hanging out with friends again, working a better job, and is active in her interests hobbies. Then she cheated on me. That sounded so wholesome until it didn't. We fought constantly, often insanely. We got into a screaming match one night and she stormed out. She went straight to this other dude's place and they partied and she took some bad LSD and never recovered. She's been in a mental health facility since 1998 and can barely talk now. We got married young and we fought like crazy. I would sarcastically call her bipolar. 7 years into it we're partying a lot, taking psychedelics fairly often. She has a full-blown episode and was manic for years. We divorced. She couldn't get stable, wasted 3 years on the streets and was in prison for another year. While in jail they forced her to take meds and she was able to pull herself out of it. She's on a good path now. It's been years. I'm remarried with a daughter but we're on good terms. I let her take our old dog every week or so, which is comforting for her. I feel awful for her and everything that has happened. She can't believe what's happened to her. What a trip, but I'm happy she is safe and willing to do what she needs to do to stay healthy. She got the help she needed and sorted herself out. 14 years later we have 2 kids. He really could fix her. I used to think I was once the crazy girl. High school, early college, undiagnosed dad and depression. This thread makes me feel like the sanest person who has ever lived. Same. She taped my hair to her fucking wall underneath a shrine of me. It was the most attractive thing I've ever seen and I shame myself for thinking that every day. Helga from Hey Arnold? Not me, but a buddy of mine. He dated her for 3 years and, during that time, completely turned her life around. Therapy, job, started community college, a medication that finally started working, whole 9 yards. Her life was going great, and we, his friends, actually started to enjoy being around her after 2.5 years of dreading every moment of it. After 3 years of him supporting her and encouraging her to get her life on track and dealing with her bullshit, she left him for some trust fund baby who could better provide for her. My buddy ran into her a couple years ago, and while it didn't work out between her and trust fund, she still has her life on the right track. So since she is pretty alright when she is doing well, I'm happy for her. But since she was so shallow that she left my friend so easily after everything for someone with daddy's money, fuck her. From what I've gathered from friends, those types of girls crave someone who can bring some level of structure to their life. And if you do manage to put them back together again, that craving is gone and they no longer feel any real attachment to the relationship. Sorry for your friend. Hope he found or does find someone that reciprocates all that he is willing to give to a partner. The sex is not worth the mental abuse. Run. Quite the clever game you're playing here, trying to have all the great crazy sex to yourself. Reading some of these replies has me thinking that maybe I'm not actually the crazy one. It has me thinking that men will willingly destroy themselves and amp every aspect of their lives for good sex. And even go back for second and amp third trips around. It is mind-blowing. We had tickets to see Godspeed, You Black Emperor. Hanging out before the set, joking around, everything was great. She says to me, "You are perfect." I casually respond, "Not perfect. Remember you were mad that I left the seat up? Haha hey, I'll go get us some drinks." Come back carrying 2 glasses. She's covered in blood. She'd been cutting herself on the dance floor. "I'm sorry I got mad at you about the toilet seat. I'm punishing myself so I'll never say it again." In my opinion, it was not a proportional response and I did not see her again after that. Good call. She ate all my weed and smoked all my food. Lock your doors, people. This is the equivalent version of stay in drugs and don't do school lol. She rode my dick like she was riding a mechanical bull and sucked me off in an IKEA showroom and broke my TV the same day. Worth it. That was a wild ride. She killed my dog and took a shit in the trunk of my car. I am so fucking sorry. You poor thing. Holy fuck. Conned me into marrying her. Lost my own identity and sense of self. Psychological abuse. Manipulation. Some of the best sex ever. Physical abuse. 2 broken noses, 3 chipped teeth. Got cheated on. She left. Divorce. Spent years trying to figure out who I am. PTSD. Decade later, still can't sleep. 0/10 do not advise. Some of the best sex ever. This is the key to crazy bitches' success and survival as a species. D. Still married to her after 33 years. I love her. The only happy story so far, a light in the storm for all of us. Dated a girl with BPD. She was nothing but kind to me, but rejection hit her really hard whenever she faced it. We quickly formed a deep emotional bond and had a great time together. I ended up breaking up with her because of her drug habit, which landed her in jail several times, but I don't regret dating her because of her condition. I overlooked one line and read I landed her in jail several times. Mental breakdown after mental breakdown. The sex was good though. Sex is always good with the crazy ones. Mind-blowing sex, but we broke up when she wanted me to get into a fake argument, W her on a drive up to Bakersfield, throw her out of the car, then double back and play rape her in the woods, W a mask on and a knife. Also one time she almost stabbed me because I got a scammer message on PlayStation Plus and she thought it was a girl messaging me. She cut my name in her wrist and then dumped me on Valentine's Day. Damn, my teen years were crazy. She was my therapist and way more unstable than I was, but we had fun for a while. This is so sad. She should address her own issues instead of abusing her patients. We are currently sitting in the woman's and children room after she gave birth 13 hours ago. Congratulations. After reading this thread I feel the overarching theme is, sex is insanely good, it will end poorly. I think that covers it. So the sex was out of this world and then she tried to stab me and frame me for rape. Stayed for 5 years until she broke up with me. She screwed my best friend. L friend too.